how to use software, hardware, anything. Family at life.
No, you're doing fine.
It's hitting buttons today.
Yes. Well,
We
my
are
shirt.
recovering from the holiday weekend.
Yeah.
My shirt is better than your shirt.
My shirt says I hit the button.
My shirt doesn't say anything but Funny Book Forensics today.
There's Funny Book Forensics.
But it's all good.
Yeah.
We are sad, though. We're sad.
Yes.
Well, you might be sad. You're not sad. I think I'm sad. I don't know. Are we all sad?
I think we're all sad.
Yeah, it's a sad weekend.
Yeah.
So
Sad weekend.
the very prolific. I would have to look up Peter David's page numbers. I'm just thinking like he's got to be, from a page number standpoint, just number of pulp pages, he's got to be up there in the top 10 of all writers of all time, just for volume sake.
Yeah, he did a lot of work.
And unfortunately, after several health problems, he passed away this weekend. Nice man. I actually did meet him once and get his autograph. It was one of those things. I think it was the same. Wasn't it the same ECCC when I passed Chris Claremont sitting by himself with no audience, and I also passed Peter David sitting by himself with no audience, when it was like very confused and went and talked to both of them?
Probably.
And yeah, like later on, Chris Claremont got like a resurgence, right? So like you can't go see Claremont now without a big line.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter David was just sitting there. And, I was reading some of the tributes to Peter David, and I think, I'm trying to remember if it was Colleen Doran. Colleen Doran wrote a really nice tribute, but one of the writers said they just saw him at a convention kind of sitting by himself too, and went over and chatted with him, and just noted, you walk by somebody without even knowing who they are.
Sometimes,
and, yeah. And I mean, especially with a writer, but the sheer volume of books and comics that Peter David wrote and the influence he had, so I found out, actually, I went back and I was looking in the Ye Olde Comics by American Comic Book Chronicles here.
Mm-hmm.
The first reference I saw for him on a mainstream book was one of the New Universe books.
Oh, wow.
For Marvel, which is kind of crazy. Because that was one where you look at across the New Universe books, a lot of the writers and artists there were established in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jim Shooter, contrary to popular belief, did want New Universe to work. It just didn't. And so I forget which one it was, but that's where Peter David started. But if you don't know who Peter David is, one, I forget who the other author was with the early Star Trek Next Generation books.
Oh, yeah.
But I know Diane Carney wrote the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody else wrote a bunch. Peter David wrote a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
You can see this one was well read.
Yeah.
Well read. Maybe a couple times.
A handful, I'm sure.
And that's where, like, I think, people know him for comics, but they don't necessarily know, like, how many licensed pulps that the man wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And that, it's crazy. You're going through things, and I was looking at his bibliography. He wrote, like, Alien Nation books, Battlestar Galactica books. He wrote a Halo book, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the guy he's just, you think of like a Gregory Zahn who just did Star Trek forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Peter David was like, he could do, step in and do anything.
Yeah.
He wrote a whole bunch of movie novelizations, which
Right.
shouldn't shock anybody. He did Return of Swamp Thing. There you go. Rocketeer.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not. Batman Forever, ?
Oh.
Fantastic Four, Hulk, Incredible Hulk. Did both of those. Spider-Man 2 and 3. Iron Man, Transformers, Dark of the Moon. Do you think he managed to make that story better?
I would think so. I'm sure he did.
Probably.
Yeah.
I just know, like, yeah, you just I think one of my favorite things about Peter David is, kind of like the amount of universe building he could do inside of the stories.
Hmm.
And, you see the characters on TV. This
Hmm.
is hilarious. There is a airline boarding pass in this as a marker.
That's great. Is it yours?
Uh, Seattle, Tacoma to Dallas, Fort Worth,
Maybe.
June 24th.
You're
I'm
like,
trying to see I'm trying to see a year on here. But anyway, right? I read this one on a plane. There you go. Anyway, that's kind of crazy. So, yeah, I mean, you just think, and then obviously, known for his early work on the Hulk,
Mhm.
with both Todd McFarlane and why did I just totally draw a blank? Eric Larson.
Mhm.
Two minor artists
Yeah, just minor.
that nobody's heard of.
Yeah.
Also, his big run on Supergirl
Hmm.
after they had pretty much destroyed the character, well, they killed Supergirl and then tried to make her into a like amorphous jelly thing. And Peter David wrote them away from that and out of that. Uh, so and dealt with the character as it came. But I think the big thing is you could hand him anything and he could just deal with the character as it came.
Yeah.
I grabbed another book. This is the last issue of the She-Hulk series,
Hmm.
but yeah, this is the infamous one with the Star Fox issue and a few
Oh.
other things. But Dan Slott actually started the series, and Peter
Hmm.
David picked up after him. I
Yeah.
mean, how many writers can pick up a book after Dan Slott?
True.
I mean, it's just, you think of, again, the flexibility and the talent, right?
Hmm.
Like, you don't just pick up a book after Dan Slott's writing it, right? Successfully. It's just, there's just not a lot of people that could do that. Other comics he did a Green Lantern serial on Action Comics Weekly back in the day. He was a true freelancer. He would go back and forth between the two companies. And, the big two, and obviously wrote pulps too. So, did a ton of stuff. Just getting into he did obviously the whole fantastic runs on Fantastic Four miniseries. He did. I mean, he's written every character. I swear.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, Spider-Man, Supergirl, Wolverine, X-Factor, Young Justice. There's a big one.
Right.
And that's one too that really bugs me a little bit with Young Justice, because with the success of the cartoon, you think that he would have had a little bit more money toward the end to pay for expenses.
Mhm.
And there's that. I think probably because he technically didn't create any of the characters, and that's probably part of the issue.
Yeah.
He just created the story that then they took and used, right? But if you think about Young Justice, right, Wolfman and Perez were way down on the Titans. Perez was long gone. Wolfman had gone through writer's block. They basically destroyed the book. And Young Justice was the 1998, let's see if we can have a Teen Titans again, right?
Hmm.
And they brought in, a bunch of characters that were either in their own books or being underutilized, and pretty much had run themselves out of books, right? Robin, Superboy, Impulse. I mean, love the Impulse book, obviously, but I mean, they'd run, no pun intended, for Impulse, get it, out of their stories, and he gets a new Wonder Girl after they'd ruined Donna Troy too, and puts them in a book, and there was all sorts of people that would come in and out of the story. And anyway, he did the first few issues of that, and that takes off, right? X Factor. Maybe that's the one we'll read. I don't know. I'm going to put up a poll. I know nobody will respond.
A
maybe,
poll.
but
Listeners.
I don't know. Maybe a poll. I might. You know what? I'm probably not going to put up a poll.
What?
But listeners,
You just
if
said
you have
were.
something you want us to read from Peter David, we're going to review some Peter David books next. One of my favorites is X Factor that he did. if it'd be the volume 3, where Multiple Man, where Jamie Madrox relaunches the team as a private detective agency. Did you read those
No,
in the 2000s?
but it sounds cool.
It was really cool. Well, the history of the seat. Again, I'm glowing about Peter David, but the ability to revive characters and take them into a different way. He did write the other original. He wrote a lot of the original X Factor too, with like Strong Guy and stuff like that. Like he did the end of that book, but when he came back to it, he put such a unique spin on the book.
Yeah.
And we could read the limited series he did on it, the Madrox, the Multiple Man limited series potentially, and then you do that instead of doing the book. But anyway, he takes a character. There's a lot we could do.
There's a lot.
There's a lot here.
Yeah.
He takes a character that do you remember the legacy virus in Mutant World?
It sounds
the mutant AIDS.
Yes.
Yes. And of course, nobody could figure out how to write Multiple Man. Write Jamie Madrox. So they gave him mutant AIDS and killed him. Super not popular storyline at the time, by the way. People were not thrilled with a virus that could only kill mutants. It was kind of like overkill. Yeah, like we get it, but this is happening in real life. So this isn't fun or interesting. Yeah. Like sometimes comics have a nice political bent to them that is great. And then sometimes
it's beating somebody over the head with something that is supposed to be an escape.
Yeah. So anyway, what I'll say about that is they'd basically written off that character, and he was able to revive that character, and it was really cool. I'm probably going to give a little bit of the story away if we read it, but one of the things he did with Multiple Man is he had him send his duplicates out, and they would learn things, and then when they would come back to him, he would absorb all that knowledge.
What?
So it basically gave him the power to send out unlimited copies of himself. So think, if you've ever wondered what you would do if you could, have 2 of you or 3 of you, right?
Or
he
5.
explored that whole idea.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Cool.
It was neat. And anyway.
Don't forget he also shaped a lot of people with Babylon 5.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, so where's our Babylon 5 people at?
Well, it was all Straczynski, right?
Oh, Dan.
These all say based on an outline by Straczynski. And it's like, okay.
Like you said, he worked with characters, put them together, and put them in. And
I like Straczynski too. I'm not a Straczynski hater. I know a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Unless Straczynski did something wrong that I don't know about, and then you can tell me.
I don't know. Maybe the listeners
I just know. I don't know. I met him at a con once. Told him, I said something, and he kind of got annoyed.
Uh-oh.
And I told him, I said, I think I'm having you sign this. I feel like I'm like the only person that liked this storyline, but I thought it was great. He was like, really? Other people didn't like it? I'm like,
oh, Dan.
Like, do you read? No one liked it. Like, but anyway, yeah, I'm going to and because I'm sad, but this is, it was a bummer to find this out. I was supposed to be sending you pictures of brisket for a party we were having, and
you sent me this, and I was like, this is not what I was expecting. In the middle of a rush.
Yeah. And, but, super creative.
Yeah.
Obviously wrote so many different things. And
a wealth of stuff.
Honestly, it deserved a better fate than he got at the end. With just the sheer amount of joy he brought to other people, I wish more joy could have been brought to him at the end.
Of course.
But as life goes, It sometimes happens.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at all these insane amount of Star Trek books that he wrote.
Yeah.
I think he wrote like 30 pulps just in Star Trek alone.
If you want something interesting that I'm probably sure you haven't watched, the movie Oblivion, he wrote that, and it's very it's sci-fi to the point where it's not um it's not breaking the like he pushes it to a point where it's almost um I want to say like parody, but it's not parody. And then also there's a lot of like you can tell he took a lot of his, like comic book writing to that movie. I watched it a bunch of times when I worked at the video store because it just always seemed like a really cool space western movie. And then you
Yeah.
put it together that, oh, this was the person that wrote all these other things, and then you're like, okay, it makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah. And you're talking the 1994 movie, not the Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
For
1994
so
Oblivion. It's got the one of the characters you'll know right off by the voice is like the guy who played Biff in the Back to the Future movies.
No.
He's a giant like a lizard guy. So it's a really cool space western movie. It's fun. So go check it out.
See, I like the fact that Peter David's IMDb photo has him wearing the Jamie Madrox logo on it. Shirt, which that just tells you who he's proud of,
Yeah.
It's just those are neat things. Yeah.
They are.
So yeah, a lot says him as a writer he's got 19 credits in IMDb too. That goes along with writer credit. Just writing credits. He has more credits than that, but he has 19 writer credits.
On
he did write 5 episodes of Young Justice, which is not surprising.
Of the show, yeah.
Yeah, for the show too. Lots of cartoons. 2 episodes of Babylon 5, as you noted. I'm sure contributed to more though.
I imagine a lot more. So
3 episodes of X-Men. Yeah, I mean, it's just I've never seen this. Have you seen this show?
What is it?
Space Cases.
Sounds familiar. What's the premise?
Well, a group of students from a space academy. I feel like you steal ideas from this. And 2 of their teachers find themselves lost in space aboard a mysterious ship of alien origin. This sounds like something you and Travis would write. Actually, it sounds like something you, Mike, and Travis would write together, which would be the most interesting, crazy combination
of writers.
Its creators are Peter David and Bill Mumy. So
is it a cartoon?
That's an interesting that's also an interesting combination. No, it's live action.
Oh, interesting. I've not seen it, heard of it. So
it's a 96 to 97 TV series. Oh, looks like it was a single seasoner.
Okay.
Based on the look of it, it looked like a single seasoner.
Was it Canadian TV?
Was it Canadian TV? That is a good question. I don't know.
I only ask because a lot of times, a lot of interesting things like that were like done for the Canadian Broadcasting Network, and we never got a chance to see it until later when it's like,
yeah, it had 27 episodes, so it looks like 1 season.
Okay.
It doesn't look particularly appealing, but yeah. Well, anyway, before I trash the man's work.
Jeez, Dan. You're trashing the production of the man's work, not the man's work, the production of the man's work. His work was probably upstanding, and how it was executed was a different story.
Well, yeah, we'll be doing something Peter David for the next few episodes. So
we'll be watching the movie Oblivion from 1994 and doing a full report to everybody. That's what I gathered. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Excellent. Put it to the poll.
We'll do something.
We're putting it to a movie podcast now.
I'll probably change my mind and just pick what I want to read.
I knew it, Dan. I knew it.
I don't know. Like, when somebody just died and I'm sad about it, it's hard to.
It's hard to pinpoint what you want to do. I get it.
But
And
it's
especially when they have like such a breadth of work, and you can't just pick one. You can't just go, oh, this is the one, because there's 15 different ones for different reasons, and that's not even that's a small sampling of the hundreds of pieces of work that he has done that
I
you could
really,
choose.
I probably really want to read the X Factor books
Mm-hmm.
or the Multiple Man series, just because none of these articles that I've looked at mention it,
Well, then let's do it.
and it's probably my favorite thing that he. I mean, Young Justice is really great too.
But
Um,
while everyone's going this way, we'll go that way. Everyone's going to talk up Young Justice, and we're going to go Multiple Man X Factor. It's
yeah, I'll pick
decided.
something.
It's decided. We're doing it, Dan.
All
Multiple
right, we'll
Man.
do that.
Dan,
That
Multiple
means
Man.
that just means you're gonna have to navigate the Marvel app.
You know what? I guess I can survive. I
All
hate
right.
it, but I'll do it just for you.
It's like, uh, and it's
I'll
sad because I
curse a
actually
lot.
have all my comic books. I have not all of them, but I have most of my comic books in file cabinets now where I can get them. But I only
Mhm.
made it through S,
Huh.
so I'm still gonna have to dig out the long box to get those books.
You
Which
can do it.
is
I believe in you.
annoying, but we'll figure it out. All right. Well, on to happier notes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the
Uh,
best things ever. We're going to talk about,
we're gonna talk about the book I didn't put in the folder for you to read.
yeah.
So we had
Oh,
to start
we're
15
going to
minutes
talk
late.
about the other book, the one that I did read.
No, we're not.
Oh, come on. That was such a good book, Dan.
I've read all those.
I
Yeah.
thoroughly
And
enjoyed it, though.
I believe I've read all those issues individually. I don't know that I've read that.
I don't think the podcast could contain that whole entire book in one episode.
Well, I
Too-
definitely read the last
it's
last
too-
one because
So, for those
Yeah.
that don't know, Dan had provided me a giant-sized issue of Jimmy Olsen books that he
we're reprints.
thought was the next book for the show. And I read them all, but it was like literally, was it 6 books in
Yeah.
there? It was 6 books.
It was a giant-sized DC book.
It was
a reprint book.
It was fantastic. I'll say that.
And I was correct. I was incorrect. I said it was a filler for Jack Kirby. I think I was incorrect. It was the August book. So I think
Yeah.
that was just their 100-page summer book that they throw out there for kids going camping and
And it's a smart move. It's a
just
good,
throw a bunch of reprints in there.
yeah. Carry that bad boy around all over the place. Back pocket.
And if you read to the end, you got a Legion of Superheroes appearance
Mm-hmm.
in the World of the Doomed Olsens,
Yeah.
where Jimmy Olsen's multiple identities come, like Turtle Olsen and
Yeah.
Porcupine Olsen and
Fat Olsen.
Elastic Lad.
Elastilad, and did they call him Fat
Elastic
Olsen
Lad
or
was an
Big Olsen?
honorary. What do we got? We've got Wolfman, a human porcupine, a giant turtle man, Elastic Lad, who was an honorary member of the. He was a Legion of Superheroes honorary member. Or reservist. Sorry.
Reservist.
Yeah. Well, to be a real member of the Legion of Superheroes, you had to have power. Your own body had to make your powers. You couldn't use a drink or anything.
Something, yes. And he was on a drink, everybody. He was drinking that drink to get elasticy.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird how he found a drink, and Elongated Man also had a drink and did the same. I was wrong. He's an honorary member. It says so right here on the last page.
Oh, okay. He honorary member.
Cosmic Boy made him an honorary member.
Oh, that's very nice, Cosmic Boy. Good job.
Yeah. It was Cosmic Boy before he didn't wear anything, too. He was still wearing his whole suit. Before the Mike Grell.
Before the I'm a star.
Well,
Superstar.
anyway, before the bustier costume. Well, anyway, yes. So Greg read a book, and then I was like, oh, I want you to read a different book.
And to, I mean, not to make Dan feel bad, but so you all know, I honestly thought that the book we were gonna read was somewhere in those pages. I kept reading every book, thinking the book was gonna pop up. Like it's a hit. It's in here. It's one of these books. It's one of these. It's one of these ones. And I read through every single thing, and I was like, it's not here. And just as soon as I finished, I get a message from Dan. A mistake has been made. You've read the wrong
Yes.
book. Please read this.
Well, and the sad part is you didn't even get good letters in there because you got letters from last summer's giant size issue, requesting what should go in the next giant size issue and things like that.
Yeah.
So there was not even any wonderful letters about Jack Kirby. There was an advertisement for Stratomatic baseball, though. So
Yeah. The Skittle baseball. Yeah.
no, not
No.
Skittle baseball.
Oh, okay.
Wow, I got like violently mad about that.
He did get violently mad.
Maybe there was an advertisement for both.
He was not happy with it, people. The look on his face said it all. He wore his emotions so well, or not so well.
I hide them well.
Not that time. Ooh.
Well, we're actually not reading 140. We're reading 141.
141.
Cover date September.
Kirby says, "Don't ask,
August.
just buy it."
Yeah.
Whoa, that's like, hey kids, don't even ask, just buy it.
It sounds like how Keith Giffen tried to sell the Legion of Substitute Heroes special that we read.
Oh yeah, it does sound like it. I would buy it just based on
I mean, these are very much Greg books and not very much Dan books. I'll just say that. If I'm thinking like
100%.
what Greg would like and what Dan would like, these books are right up your writing alley too.
Oh, definitely. I mean, definitely.
And that's why the world's a better place when you're writing than when I'm writing, because I write dark, horrible things, and you write happy, fun things that people actually want to read.
Not all of my stuff is happy, fun things, and that's the funny thing is when I write dark stuff, people are like, "Whoa, where'd that come from?" And it's like,
yeah, like when you killed your friend, that was not cool.
Dude, I mean, it happens in writing.
I mean, that was a short story for an anthology that was a horror anthology. So
yeah,
I mean,
it happens in writing sometimes.
Well, we get a red cover with the Guardian and Superman holding a picture of Don Rickles with Jimmy Olsen and Goody Rickles chasing after them. Yeah, I mean, this cover does work better than the last cover from a stylistic standpoint.
It's pretty good. I feel like at this point, Don Rickles is going to jump out of the Don Rickles picture and into your life.
I'm sure. I feel like I hate Don Rickles and never want to see him in a comic book.
What?
I mean,
Is it Don Rickles that you hate, or is it Goody Rickles that you hate?
Yes.
I think I met a liar today.
I think I hate that. I mean, in real life, well, like, Don Rickles' act has been assumed by Triumph.
Yeah. And the only way to keep greatness alive is to emulate it.
Yeah, I mean, and
even if you have to do it with a dog on a hand.
A dog puppet.
Dog puppet on a yeah, let's clarify. If you don't know who Triumph is and I say dog on a hand, that sounds really weird. So, Triumph the dog puppet on a hand. On a hand.
It basically does Don Rickles. If you've ever seen Triumph, you have Don Rickles.
With a different voice.
Yeah. I mean, Don Rickles is better. No offense to Triumph, but
yeah. I mean, he was first.
But Triumph, I like Triumph, so that's fine. But yeah. It's I also apparently like what if for listener Lance.
Okay.
We had a Triumph Testament crossover.
Oh. That would be amazing.
I'm just thinking. Well, anyway. This says Kirby says don't ask, just buy it, because even he knows this book is trash. And he says,
Oh my God.
rushing towards the greatest climax ever seen in comics.
Yeah.
Not words I would use on a kid's book.
Are you sure, Dan? They're talking about
At
the
least,
climax of the story, Dan. It builds rhythmically.
it turned inside out and it exploded.
Whoa. The story? Yes, it did. Because
Yeah.
where we left off last
Thank you,
time.
Galaxy Quest. Thank you, Galaxy Quest. Thank you. Where we left off last time is Superman. So, hey, first off,
yeah.
we're going to get a tie into the fourth world finally. So, again, that's not just Intergang. So,
yeah.
I shouldn't say finally, but the Intergang thing's been going
We've
on.
had tie-ins all along.
We've had plenty of tie-ins. Yeah. We've had Makari and Simeon. We had a cameo of we had the cameo of Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
But we get a Light Ray.
Yeah.
Well, first off, we get some crazy art again.
It's nuts. So what?
What I was just gonna ask you. So the first 3 pages are like the crazy art background with a drawn comic book spaceship, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then it immediately goes back to comic art, right?
Right.
Like, how do you feel about that transition?
I would say, depending on where it is in the page turn in the actual book, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean the page turn is
it's on the right page turn. It's not too jarring.
And a page spread.
Yeah,
and
it's not too.
Page 4.
Yeah, it's not too jarring. It's fine.
How cool would it have been if like Light Ray had been flying through that though?
It would have been pretty cool. It could be done, I'm sure, but I think for the way that he was trying to panel it out and tell the story, I don't know if that could have been, and for the use of pages and stuff like that, to be able to do that page turn 4 panel up, I don't think he could have gotten that aspect that you're looking for. Maybe if we had a spot of this thing in the background on the 3rd page, and it's like you don't know what it is, and it's streaking across the page, that could have been cool. But it's more of an afterthought moment than it is like, I'm sure when he was putting the page together, and at the time he was probably like, okay, I gotta layer this all together and I gotta take a photo of it. It's just so much going into it.
To me, it's a lot. So going from so what we're trying to describe to y'all, you just need to pick up the book and read it. Remember, this is Jimmy Olsen 141. But what we're describing is
also
he's
pick
got
up 140.
Like, yeah, you could. You can get that one pretty cheap. That one pretty cheap. These are more expensive. So, you get these cool planets and everything kind of jammed together. They're trying to give you this feel of transitioning from the universe to the Force World universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what is kind of Superman feeling or seeing,
yeah.
or Clark Kent in. What I think is cheesy is when I actually think it is jarring when you go from page 3 to page 4 and you've got Clark Kent looking out a window.
Mm-hmm. And he's like,
it's just kind of, yeah.
You don't think
but he mentions these 2 giant planets, one brightly green and the beautiful, and the other is a shadow. Of course, he doesn't know that that's Apocalypse.
It's Apocalypse Park. It's a suburb.
Oh, I was thinking it was just Apocalypse. It's a just sad giant parking garage planet, and that's why everybody's so sad.
It is. It's where Apocalypse parks so he can get the light rail to his suburb.
So you were well. Anyway, we make the observation. If you've been reading the other books, you're going to know immediately that that's New Genesis and Apocalypse. If you haven't been reading the other Fourth World books, you're going to have no idea what he's talking about.
What the heck is that? Or as my grandma used to say, what the heck is that?
Reference. He might pull the reference for Apocalypse, maybe not. Anyway, Light Ray's on a collision course with him. We see Light Ray. Of course, you're not going to know who Light Ray is unless you were reading New Gods, and you would know that Light Ray got lost when he was trying to help Orion and got to see all sorts of different things and is still flying through space while Orion is on Earth.
It's like when I watch those Chicago shows, like Chicago Fire and the Chicago
I don't watch
Med.
those shows.
But there's always these crossovers and stuff like that, and like you got the police one, and the fire one, and the hospital one, and then this newest one is totally got me messed up because I don't quite get how the crossover works. But Chicago Pope, I don't know how it works, but I guess there's now a Pope from Chicago that comes to all these shows, and he's like, we're gonna set things right, we're gonna do it Chicago way. And maybe that's what
you see.
Yeah,
I was about to make a really terrible joke, so I decided not to.
Yeah, see?
I was about to make like I was actually, the reason I froze is because sometimes I think of things to say and then I try to go to like number 5 and 6, but like number 1 through 10 were inappropriate. So, I was gonna say something like, which show has the most kids on it? And that's the one the Pope would go to first.
Oh.
Do you see why I didn't say that?
The hospital one.
Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah. See? I thought, is there a police one?
Yeah, there's a police one.
That's where he goes after the hospital one.
Yeah, of course.
But then doesn't. Well, anyway. You know what? It's for all the reports say this new Pope guy is could be kind of cool. So
could be good. Could be good for what's going on. So,
but
Chicago way.
We turn the page here and back out of Chicago Fire PD Rescue 911. Is Lieutenant Dangle, does he show up in a crossover?
I really wish. I honestly, I would die if there was a crossover where there was it's like all of a sudden you got like Reno 911 characters popping into like these police procedurals that are like reality based, and it's like, oh, what the hell? I'm on vacation.
Well, we get a page turn that's jarring, and that's only the beginning, friends, because it's only a part of the incredible event materializing back on Earth with the most mismatched companions in peril ever drawn together by scheming fate. Jimmy Olsen, the Golden Guardian. Now he's the Golden Guardian?
He's the Golden Guardian.
Lookalike you'll never forget. Goody Rickles.
Goody.
I will never forget him. That's the sad part.
Stuck.
Follow them to a blazing climax, which answers the burning question.
Chicago Fire.
Now, if there's a climax and it's burning, you should really get that checked out.
Chicago Med.
That's definitely Chicago Med.
You gotta go to the hospital for that one. But then you probably gotta get Chicago. You probably gotta go get Metropolis PD involved because you gotta go and reach out to all the people, and they have the best way to do that with their.
Okay. Well, the real Don Rickles panic is the title of this book in question mark, exclamation point, question mark.
Whoa.
And we get the Guardian looking at us in his Guardian best here.
Would you I'll save it for later.
Really? We don't have a lot later. I mean, we're already 40 minutes in.
And I'll save it for when it actually occurs.
Skittleball is here.
See? I knew Skittleball was somewhere.
Well, Skittleball is not nearly as cool as Stratomatic Baseball.
I know. Skittleball was always cool, like, if you were the one throwing the ball. If you're throwing the ball, but if you're, like, on the other side of it and you weren't paying attention and the ball hit you in the face, bad news.
I think we should have a mashup between Skittle Baseball and lawn darts, yard darts.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That'd be, it puts you in the same vein as our heroes here who have the, how does Goody Rickles say it? The Glocamora? Is he trying to say guacamole?
I don't know. He ate some guacamole and now his tummy's on fire. It's too hot.
They also have the pyrogranulate in it. So surely all three of them will die by the end of this issue.
Human
My hope is
fireballs.
that Goody Rickles dies very quickly and we never hear from him again.
Wah, wah, wah.
How's that a want, want, want? I'm very serious.
I mean, I like Goody Rickles. I think he's kind of funny.
Well, Guardian is very happy to be free. He's, even though he's dying, he says he's never had this sense of freedom before. He's running around the city. He's a clone. He plays Skittle baseball.
By himself, because he's puts a shield up on one side and he just throws that thing and he's like bing, bing,
Throws it
bing,
at the
bing,
shield.
bing. Yeah.
And
he's like bounding all over the city.
He is.
Atop
He's very
the roofs.
Spidey-like.
Yeah.
He's very Spidey-like.
Or Daredevilish, if I dare say.
Or Daredevilish, yeah. I think he's more Spidey-like.
More Spidey-like? Okay. Spidey-like. Fair.
Maybe he's more, I don't know, maybe he's stretchy.
I don't think he's stretchy.
He's looking fantastic.
He's looking fantastic, but I don't think he's stretchy.
He is looking kind of fantastic, though.
Yes.
You know what he's looking?
What?
He's looking like Captain Fantastic.
Oh. Okay.
And next, on the next page, that's where the new crossover starts. On page 8, we get Don Rickles.
Yeah. Real
And
Don Rickles.
Did you know, in this book, unadvertised, we also get Captain Fantastic?
I did not know.
Yeah. And so Elton John makes an appearance, too.
Pretty fantastic.
He's right there in the background. Do you see him?
I'm looking. Which panel are you seeing him in? Top?
See the guy with the blue suit and the white black hair there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
He's right there. It's just because he wasn't well known yet, so he didn't get top billing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we get back to it's not the Daily Planet, it's the Galaxy Broadcasting System. And Don Rickles, the real one, has made an appearance, and he gets absolutely mobbed by everybody.
He is mobbed on. Everybody wants his autograph. They're wanting to touch him and tear off his clothes. It's kind of obscene.
Yeah, and we get such really great jokes. He says, "Gonna see the chief, Don?" And he says, "Relax, you cockamanies. You're liberated. The Nazis are gone. That's right. I just saw General Patton grab von Rundstedt."
Sadly, Don didn't know this, but his joke would not land quite well in 2025 as they've returned.
Oh. Oh.
What? You can make terrible. You can make. I can't make a terrible joke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. We just. Hey, the Grizzlies are free.
Oh my. Oh yeah.
Did you not know this?
Oh no, I saw the news of my grandma today, and I was like, wait. Didn't they do some bad stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, they did really bad stuff, but their fellow property.
Yeah,
they're mortgage people. He loves mortgage people.
They're mortgage people. They had a TV show, and they defrauded banks and people for millions of dollars. So that must make them okay. Yeah.
Well, they know best.
No.
I didn't even get a noisemaker for that one.
You just got me making noise. But sure, if you want something.
No, that's okay. I'll just go with the Rickles jokes again. This woman comes up and grabs him and says, "Oh, insult me, Don. Say anything. A sentence, a word." And he says, "Okay, hernia. Get off me, you runaway locomotive. Go out and sit on the Chicago Bears."
Wow. Body shaming, Rickles. Jeez.
Also, is that saying what I think he's telling her to do? How'd that make it past the Comics Code Authority?
I think he's saying that she's a large woman, and
I thought he was telling her to go sleep with the Bears.
No, I think he's saying she's a large woman, and she should go sit on the Bears.
She should go join the. He wants her to be on the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, Morgan Edge comes in and everybody scatters, and Don Rickles is on the ground, and now he's really unhappy.
He's like Messed up looking.
Yeah. And he says, savages, another one that holds up really well in
Oh, very well.
2025. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you 30 pounds of raw meat tomorrow morning, and may the gods rain on your memos.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Rickles.
Do you ever think that Jack Kirby should stick to writing really good comics and not jokes
Yes.
when you were reading this issue?
Yes. Very much
And then
so.
he meets the secretary, who I've already forgotten her name. Oh, it's Miss Conway. That's right, Miss
Oh, okay,
Conway.
Miss Conway.
And he says, "You're great, honey." Do you know
Mm.
how much I hate it? That phrase right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've told the story on the podcast about the softball coach, right?
I believe so, but if you wish to regale again,
Or the fast pitch coach coaching Little League fast pitch, and he would coach third base and yell honey at all the girls. Come on, honey. Come here, honey.
Oh my.
And actually, as when I actually changed, I had a conversation with the guy. He's a really nice guy. And I said,
Yeah.
you know, every time you say that, I want to jump up out of my little announcer booth and punch you. And he said, what? I said, it's so demeaning. Like, can you please stop? And he did, actually, to his credit. He's like, oh, yeah, I hadn't thought about it. I was just trying to, coach the team. And I was like, well, and he did. So
He didn't.
sometimes
Maybe he just didn't know how bad it sounded
it
until
sounded
somebody
really bad.
until somebody course corrected him, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I guess that is dated and demeaning. Thank you for letting me
He's
know."
really nice too.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. Yeah, he was a lawyer. He was a really nice guy. Not all lawyers were nice guys, but this guy was. And anyway, but Don Rickles is not a nice guy because he says, "You're wasted here," to Miss Conway. "You deserve something better than a typewriter and a sneaky crumb." And this sneaky crumb, oh, he's making fun of Morgan Edge. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Get yourself a bikini and start a chain of heart attacks at a garden party.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I'm loving this book. All right, so we've made it back to Light Ray and Clark Kent. All right. All right. This is great. Light Ray's like, "I greet you, Earthman, and none too soon." And Clark's like, "A native of this star system, and he came right through the wall of the space vehicle." He's like, "I am Light Ray. My body is attuned to the element of light." Is light an element?
Yeah,
It is.
I think. I don't know.
Do you remember light on the periodic table?
Well, okay, we're dealing in a world right now where science doesn't matter. So yes, it's an element, Dan. You can eat it. You can eat sun.
And
You
able
can eat light.
to assume its identities. Okay, so
Yeah, I mean, like, we live in a world where science doesn't matter. Light is nutritious. It's just as good as ketchup.
I love that. Based on this, Clark is like,
Yeah.
That's how he does it, by converting mass into light energy. Like, none of which was said, but Kal-El is a scientist through and through.
Yeah.
Like his daddy.
Yeah, just like his daddy.
Like Daddy L.
Daddy L. I learned that in the last book.
Like Daddy L.
Yeah,
Daddy
Daddy L.
If they'd named him Daddy L,
yeah,
do you think the books would have picked up a different type of audience?
Probably. Grimbor would have shown up.
Grimbor would have been there, yeah. Grimbor would have been right there. It's
what is your bidding, master?
I think that would be a good book, Grimbor and Daddy L.
Oh boy.
I mean, we read those Midnighter books.
Yeah, see?
They'd fit right in there too.
Fit right in there.
They would absolutely.
Oh wow.
And and if you wonder, I don't have the episode number in For Out of Us, but I'm specifically referring to a set of Midnighter books, not the character's total history. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's again. Well, anyway,
I'll bring levity to some darkness.
This is something. They end up on Apocalypse for a second, and the
What?
parademons are coming,
Oh,
and they're about to get
jeez.
blitzed, and
Oh, man.
Light Ray doesn't realize this is Superman, even though how could he not? Because he's like a fourth worlder, and he probably should be able to figure this out because he's like a god, right?
But he doesn't know because he's wearing his glasses.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Clark recalls meeting the Forever People, and it
Forever
gets brought
ago.
back, and we see some parademons. Is this the first parademon sighting, or did they show up in Mr. Miracle when he was on the planet?
You know,
On Apocalypse?
at
I
least
think
for
they showed
me,
up there, didn't they?
this is the first parademon sighting in that.
In
But
this, yeah,
this,
but I'm
of
reading the
course,
omnibus, right?
but
I think were the pyramid because when he was going to see Granny Goodness,
yeah, they might have shown up in that.
parademons though, parademons are a big deal. I mean, they're
They
like
are.
the inner gang thugs of Apocalypse.
Yeah,
They're the
of
ones
course.
you put on the HeroClix board for 10 points, right?
Yeah, because they just show up and they wreck shop for a while until and you just got like there's 20 of them and just like these guys again. I
Well,
almost brought
Goody
my HeroClix
Rickles,
share house, but I didn't.
you should have. We could have played HeroClix.
No,
Maybe that would have kept people around.
they'd have been like, "Oh, what's gonna happen next? This is exciting."
Got the anti-monitor out.
Oh no.
Well, Goody and Jimmy are on a subway.
I believe so. Not eating a Subway, just on a Subway. Although, I mean, I don't think after they ate the food that Manheim Steamroller fed them, they'd want to eat anymore.
Yeah. No. Well, they're on fire, so.
They're on fire.
Well, anyway, everybody is on the subway is as annoyed with Goody as I am.
Uh-huh.
And he's insulting people, and they're insulting
Left and
him.
right.
And he starts to light on fire.
Uh-huh.
And then as he lights on fire, everybody starts laughing.
He's like, I'm dying.
Yeah. And they're like, yay.
Yay.
And unfortunately, he's
Please
still
die.
living as the Guardian jumps onto the giant motorhome.
I thought it was a
of Inner Gang.
Wienermobile.
No,
It's
we
not-
met this last issue. This is
it's
Inner
not.
Gang's motorhome.
Wienermobile.
Remember,
They're Wienermobile.
they couldn't get their own building.
Wienermobile.
They're not a good enough gang yet.
They're not a good enough gang, so they stole a Wienermobile. Got it.
Now, over in the New Gods right now,
Mm-hmm.
Orion has infiltrated another part
Wienermobile?
of Inner Gang and went to their giant mansion. So
Oh.
there is parts of Inner Gang that is a little bit inconsistent. There's parts of Inner Gang that are rich, and there are parts of Inner Gang not doing so well. Stratifications. These are the low-level Inner Gangers.
Well, yeah. No, I
And then
mean,
you have
there's,
your Morgan Edges of the world, and
yeah, there's levels, man. It's just like Amway. You gotta sell to get, and then you gotta bring people in to get them to sell for you. And then
one
once they
ugly
can
Mannheim here, known as Ugly,
yeah,
because they keep calling him that. Maybe he
Yes.
just doesn't have that power.
he's just ugly. Oh, his power is
Ugly
to be-
Mannheim.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say his
he
power
looks like
is being ugly.
What were the precursors to the Green Goblin, the gang,
The Green
the
Goblin gang.
infiltrators, the intimidators,
Was it?
in Spider-Man?
I think it was infiltrators.
The infiltrators.
I think it was.
This is one I
Infiltrators.
gotta look up.
Yeah, I think it was infiltrators.
I don't think it was infiltrators.
Is it intimidators? It was an I. Pretty sure.
It was an I, and we're gonna guess every I word except the right one.
Oh, intimidators.
Hang on. No, it's the Chameleon
Intergangers.
Strikes.
Was it intergangers?
They weren't the intergangers.
Were they the mm,
I don't know.
innocuous
The
ones?
infiltrators, inoculate. I don't know. We'll figure this out. I'm not ready yet.
Inculcate.
But
They were the ones who
Inculcators?
inculcators.
uh,
Yes,
I
I
don't
like
know.
that. They're the inculcators. They inculcate people.
yeah. Wow. Now there's so many.
Oh no.
This is There's so many things. There's so many Spider-Man 14s now.
So many Spider-Man gangs. So many Spider-Man 14s, so many Spider-Man gangs. Who was Spider-Man fighting before the Green Goblin? Who?
I don't know.
He was He was fighting Goody Rickles. It was
You
a
know, it's
massive
amazing.
crossover.
I knew it was put out in 19. Okay, so this is the Green Goblin. So it's not this issue. It's
Okay.
before that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, this is fun. This is really entertaining podcasting. You should continue with the page here.
It was the Impressionists. He was fighting the Impressionists. They made impressions, but dental impressions, not just regular impressions, just dental impressions. And then they would bite you with those impressions and leave your own teeth marks on you. So when you went to the police to go get, like, they bit me, and they're like, well, let's take a look. And they're like, oh my gosh, you've been bit by yourself. How did you do that? You bit
We
your
were
own
so
elbow.
wrong. It was the Enforcers.
Oh, the Enforcers.
The Spider-Man number 10.
The Inflammatories. The Enforcers.
The
You would think that
Enforcers,
they were
was the
good
gang.
guys. They're good guys. They would enforce things, but no, they were bad guys that were enforcing things that were bad.
Never has anyone fought such merciless foes. Well, anyway, except the Guardian.
Except for
has
the
invaded
Guardian.
the mobile home.
And he's destroying this thing like a space Winnebago. It is beat up beyond repair. It's gonna have to get like hauled off to a salvage yard after. They're shooting them with their pop guns and like looks like he's taking some heat.
Yeah, well, this whole page I'm hearing "Going Mobile" by The Who in the background while this fight is happening.
Okay.
And the song, I mean, it's on Who's Next.
Yeah. It's a lot of action going on these pages because, like, Guardians, like, they just keep opening doors on this Winnebago, and these guys just keep pouring out of bathrooms. How many bathrooms have they got on this thing? That's what I want.
There's a lot of bathrooms. Well, anyway, that's a big mobile home.
Yeah. And they're like, you're not going to get what you want. Get them. You're dead.
Well, we flip the page. We go to page 16, and Jimmy and Goody have returned to the office while they can spontaneously combust, because that's exactly where you go when you're about to light on fire.
Well, of course.
To the office. That's where I would go.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the most sense. It's like, you're going to blow up.
And Goody meets Dawn.
It's a Rickle pickle, everyone. Because you got Goody Rickle and Dawn Rickle in the same room. The universe is going to collapse. We're now going to, they're going to blink out of existence because they shouldn't be in the same place together. Time-space continuum, cats raining dogs or raining cats and dogs.
And they say the same words.
It is pure madness.
If you look on panel 16, and page 16, because this book has page numbers, and panel 2, you can see them saying the same words.
They're saying the same stuff, almost like they share the same brain.
Look how easy it is to direct people to what I want them to look up when there are page numbers.
Oh, no. No.
It's amazing.
That was in the panel.
Just get people right there.
I know. It's amazing. Great. Yes.
Well, yeah. I love page. I mean, look how beautifully they're drawn. You said that little circle in the corner. It's like a cone, and then has the number 16 here. It's really, that just means somebody has to write all those little 16s and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think for every book they had to write 16 over and over again?
No, they had to do it it depends on the type of book, but I'm imagining for this one, they just did it the one time and then printed a bunch. But for some books that are unique and precious to those who buy them, it would have to be done over and over again by the artist or the letterer.
Well, Don Rickles and Goody Rickles figure out they're the same person. This is Crisis on Infinite Rickles. Yeah.
It's a Rickle pickle. Pickle of Rickles.
You're treading closely to jokes we can't say anymore because
that's why I called it a pickle Rickle. A Rickle of pickles.
A show that we won't name.
You're going there. I'm not.
You totally went there. Like that.
No.
Their
name is Rickle, and they are now in a pickle, Dan. and this book cost 2 dimes and 1 nickel. And I know that you, listening to me tell you this, it's making you sickle.
Is the demon in this book?
You're feeling kind of fickle. I'm done with the shtickle.
Okay. Well, so is Jack Kirby because the Rickles disappear.
You can now finish your high school diploma at home.
Yeah. Maybe Jack Kirby should have not written this book.
No.
Well, anyway, Rickles leaves the office. Jimmy and Goody
like the
Rickles
Highlander, there can only be one.
Lighting on fire.
Oh no.
As they're burning up.
It's like Icarus. They got too close to the sun, people.
Well, Morgan Edge is mad because his scheme has been foiled, and he starts calling for the bomb squad.
He's like, oh no, these 2 hotheads came into my office and got real hot.
And the Guardian bursts in.
Oh, finally.
And says, hi, guy. And Don Rickles says, hi, guy, we're sharing the same straitjacket. And then he's like, that's it. I've had it. Spades, clubs, diamonds with this whole deck of cards. And then something explodes.
Guardian's too late.
Find out it's the Golden Guardian. The Golden Guardian. Remember, the Golden Guardian.
Golden Guardian.
And he's given them their antidote. They drink it, and they start to prepare for their colonoscopies.
Oh, thankfully he was there in time. Man.
We had to get them that liquid. They have to drink it all night.
You drink it all day and then crap all night, and then the next day you're clean as a whistle, but you can't eat real fast afterwards. And, oof, terrible time.
Well,
worst ride I've ever gone on at Disneyland.
Don Rickles has Don Rickles says, Morgan, I know you're some kind of sadist, but can you tell me honestly if this cuckoo charade is over? Since it's page 20, I can tell you it's close to being over because there are page numbers, and I can be happy when I see page 20. I'm in great condition, muscles like rocks, but all this has left me on the ropes. I'm on the ropes. And Morgan Edge like, well, take a breather, sit in a chair, think about your mother's cooking. What?
Hey, sometimes it's all you need. You got to think about what makes you feel good. If it's your mother's cooking, maybe that's what makes Morgan Edge feel good, is his mother's cooking. And he's like, Mr. Rickles, please take solace in something that brings you happiness and makes you feel good. And if not, borrow from me, the great Morgan Edge.
Well, the good news,
yeah,
in all of this,
the good news is that he's going to launch some more spaceships into the sky.
No, a boom tube happens, and Don Rickles runs away and leaves with the bomb squad who showed up.
Holy crap.
Clark Kent returns, and we've moved away from the story, and we're gonna go to the next issue of Jimmy Olsen.
I can't wait to cover it.
Do you know they look like the human bomb? By the way, the character.
They did. The guys walking in, or
the bomb squad? Yeah,
they do.
That was one of the things in Kingdom Come, where like the human bomb character they had in there was having people pull his finger.
Pull my finger.
Yeah, it didn't go well for them.
It's not good.
Well, anyway, now friends cringe and cower and moan in fear. The next issue we're not reading. They're prepared to meet the man from Transylvania. All right.
Why are we not reading that, Dan?
Because we're moving on to other things.
But it sounds so cool. It sounds so.
Well, I'm gonna read it because I'm gonna read it in the Jack Kirby Omnibus, the Fourth World Omnibus, and I'm gonna keep reading that. Probably.
We're not gonna read it. We're not gonna read it with the listeners. Listeners, you're on your own.
Why didn't we pick one of the other things in the Omnibus? Why did I pick this again?
Why did you pick these two books? Because you didn't
this
know
whole Jack Kirby, this whole Jimmy Olsen run.
Because you thought it was
everything else I'm reading is amazinger. Amazinger.
Well, we can come back to one of these amazinger stories and read one of those if you want to at another time, because they are amazing.
Well, we flip the page and we get the letter column.
Oh, yeah. Dan's favorite. Dan, did you write a letter this time?
I have letters. I have lots. No, I did not.
Because
maybe. Actually, let's find out.
Usually there's a writer who's written into Jimmy Olsen's pen pals, and they surprisingly feel like the letter was written by Dan.
Well, dear editor, why not bring Jimmy Olsen out monthly, like Superman and nope, nope, that's not mine.
That would be me.
Okay. Dear Jack, I bought Jimmy Olsen 137, and the current menace is presenting itself nicely. While it is rather difficult to evaluate one chapter of this extended plot, I think I can safely say that there has not been one iota of this person has a bigger vocabulary than I do.
They got a big word. They got big words. What?
Diminution?
Diminutive
of the basic ingredient. Did
Damn
he mean
now.
dilution?
Diminution. That's a word.
Does he mean a diluting?
No.
Well, anyway.
I don't know.
This is not a... No, I didn't write this one either.
Okay.
Because the words are too big. Dear editor, it is still too early for any comprehensive judgments on Kirby's efforts at DC. Only time enough for...
Oh, you would have written this one because it's a reduction of size, extent, or importance of something. His story is not important and is
diminutive. So it's in that word family. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Only time enough for...
I'm on
the next letter.
You've taken away from things. That's what he's saying. You've taken away from the story by putting the story in there.
Well, they're saying he didn't do that. So.
Oh, then you didn't write that. Yeah, no, that's not you.
All right, so we're back to the next letter again. Okay. It is still too early for any comprehensive judgments on Kirby's efforts for eddies to form. Oh, yeah, around one ankles. Wow. Okay.
Oh.
Growing in strength until one is irresistibly swept into the rich domain of a creative mind.
I see.
Who are these people? Why didn't they become writers?
They probably are.
What is already obvious is that we are being offered a tour de force allegory, drama, adventure, speculation, modern myth on a grand scale, possibly Kirby's magnum opus. What the fuck? Who writes that?
I don't know.
Like
Randy Heitschu?
Of Colletta, California. Well, Randy, you suck. Anyway, all right. Dear editor, in Jimmy Olsen 135, you had Superman say that a tissue sample had been taken from him. How? And they said with the kryptonite laser. Okay. Mark Editor and Steve Sherman write something. Hey, we got them in the Jack Kirby book. That's cool. They wrote a whole thing about the Newsboy Legion returning. And then we get, the best thing in the whole book. Kirby's the name and comics is my game. We get Jack Kirby drawing himself here, I think.
Mm. Oh, he's drawing himself in the book.
Yeah. And, yeah.
I think the best part, though, is...
backup story, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna read it.
Why not? It's the best.
I didn't read it.
We get to know the Guardian and how he became.
I didn't ask you to read that.
Oh, okay. So, but I did.
I'll tell you what. If you buy me a copy of Star Spangled Comics #7,
yeah,
I'll read it. I'll read this with you.
Okay. I won't.
You can go check the price on that one.
I was gonna say I won't because it's too much fun.
I think you have the money. Don't lie to the people.
It's too much, Dan.
So we're done with Jimmy Olsen. What's your overall thoughts here?
I had a good time reading these books. I liked them. I thought Jack Kirby's world building, even if it was just taking this stuff that was known, a known storyline with known characters to build out these other things to make branches and like I'd say like branches for them to hang on, like with their little monkey paws and to crawl out onto to get over to the other stories, or if it was a waterway, if you will, for them to go down and get to the other
with the whiz
stories.
wagon,
Yeah, like the whiz wagon. That I
the
really felt,
Fantastic
yeah,
wagon.
the Fantastic wagon. I really felt that this gave him the ability to create that other stuff that he came up with that you do like, uh, by using this as that stepping stone. Uh, these stories are, for the most part, fun. They're geared towards a probably younger audience in the sense of like, um,
Yeah, like the cloning and
well,
the
no,
sex
but
references and the Don Rickles jokes. Very, very younger audience.
yeah, like in their mid 20s and stuff like that. Young people, the young the young people that like to
This is
read
that,
comics.
but it's definitely not geared toward a traditional comic age
Yeah,
audience that would have been
yeah.
reading Jimmy
It's
Olsen
not.
before this book.
Yeah, it's to the people who grew up with the Jimmy Olsen books that are a little bit older, and they're like, oh,
For all
I
the
like,
14-year-olds writing the word diminution in their
yeah,
letters.
yeah. No, it's to the college kids that grew up with the Jimmy Olsen books that are now in college that are like, oh yeah, yearn for something that reminds me of my youth. Oh, a Jimmy Olsen book written by Jack Kirby. Let's read that. And then they're like, what else did he write? And then they're like, oh wow, and they start jumping into all this other stuff, New Gods and other things, and they're like, wow, this is really blowing my mind, flipping my wig, you know, and their mind is expanded, and now they're in a boom tube, and they don't know where to stop.
I mean, the writers and artists sure love this. I mean, Inner
Yeah,
Gang lasts forever. Morgan Edge lasts forever.
yeah.
You get Double X, the Guardian less so, but the Guardian does stick around and keep showing up. You get the Cadmus Project, which it eventually becomes, stays around in Superman comics. I mean, a lot of this sticks around. So far, I think it was pretty poorly executed, but it's the creative comments,
Mm-hmm.
the creative content that sticks around.
Yeah.
So, I think Jack holds to his own statements of like, creating something new, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be Jack Kirby. You don't want to be like Jack Kirby. You want to be your own person. And in this
Right.
case, I think some of the art was really neat. Obviously, it's Jack Kirby drawing, so a lot of the art was really neat.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I did not like the Newsboy Legion at all. I found Flippa to almost be a racist caricature in a way.
Well, I think you're not too wrong. But
Yeah, it's I mean, I think we could have done better there. And you're balancing like the introduction of a race into comics and
mm-hmm.
expanding it. So on one hand, I'm like, good job, Jack. You didn't just stick with the white kids on the corner from your original comic books, but then, you could have executed that a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I the Guardian needs a new uniform. I think I mentioned that. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
need some sort of update right now. He's just like either the
So
precursor to Captain America or
yeah.
he's like blue and yellow Captain America. It's
Okay.
kind of cheesy.
So what I'm hearing is if DC comes and taps me to do something, I'm to take on a new version of the Guardian in the Newsboy Legion for you.
No,
No, that's what I hear. I hear the
no, I
gauntlet being
don't.
thrown down.
I don't want any of
So
those. I mean, the
so
Guardian they've already done on TV. They made Jimmy Olsen the Guardian in Supergirl. Uh, I think they've done things with the Guardian.
yeah, the Newsboy
I
Legion
don't.
though we haven't seen that, and I think the Newsboy Legion, if done all via
You've
like
already done the Newsboy Legion. You already have Junior Braves.
no,
Like
no, but if you
you've
did a
already done
Newsboy
that.
Legion that was like a bunch of like Reddit kids, and they
If you did the Newsboy Legion like you in the vein of what you did with Junior Braves, not the same story, but like with the same kind of character
yeah,
archetypes and character stereotypes and archetypes that you did there, that could probably work. You'd probably have. I think the other thing too is this isn't a book about if it had been a book about the Newsboy Legion and it was just focused on, and they weren't
Yeah.
set, they're very stereotypical characters, right? We don't get into the archetyping. We don't get into any
Right.
depth. You don't have any reason to care about any of them.
Yeah.
They're just there.
They're there.
They're there for comic relief,
Mhm.
which is okay. But like when they're fighting, when things are happening, I want to care about the characters. I don't give a shit about the Newsboy Legion at all. They could be all blown off the page and I would not care. There's like no emotional attachment to them. I mean, that's the big problem with it.
But Scrapper has little Scrapper to take care of.
Yeah, all the little scrappers.
All the
I
little
mean, there's some
scrappers.
cool concepts here, but there's not like when we read OMAC, right?
Yeah.
You start to, even though it's way out there with Billy Blank, you start to empathize with the character very
after
quickly.
5 pages, you empathize with the character. Not even after 2 pages, 3 pages, you empathize with the character, and by the 5th page, you're really rooting for him.
And here, I hate Superman. He's just a big jerk most of the time.
He is a big jerk most of the time, but that's what I like about this Superman. You're all the time before you're like, oh, Superman, yeah, and this time around you're like, man, he's super jerk, and these are the reasons why. Give it to him, guys. Yeah, hit him with that Krypton gun. Hit him with the kryptonite.
So, and I'm not a big fan of the clone storylines, right? Like
I get it.
It's just lazy. Clones are lazy writing.
When I write my clone book, I'll dedicate it to Dan.
You can, and I'll probably say it's lazy writing again. I mean, I think you can do a clone book that's not lazy writing, right?
No,
but
I'm really gonna do one.
When you're just like, oh, hey, I've got this project thing, and we have clones, and that's how I brought back all these things. And
what if it was just making clone dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what if you make Pet Sematary?
What if you don't, though, Dan? What if you make Pet Utopia?
What if you do? I mean, but right now in the comic storyline, whether clones are going to work out or not, or I'm going to clone my dog because I love her forever, that doesn't matter. What I'm saying right now is that with the clones here in this storyline, it seemed pretty lazy. I mean, they literally could have been doing anything underground except clones, right? Like they're building their own utopia down there, right?
They are, yeah.
And so
part of their utopia revolved around clones or clowns. What if it was clowns? Clones
and the Harrys become kind of an afterthought in the whole storyline.
Yeah,
it's like they're there,
but then they become very big in other stories.
No, not really.
Oh, they're huge. They're huge Harrys.
Not really. No.
Oh yeah.
Cadmus lasts a long time, but no, not really.
Not really.
I mean, I'm sure they show up again, but
they show up. Yeah, they show up.
They don't have the staying power that the Guardian and Double X and
yeah,
the rest of the and Project Cadmus has.
Well, so. I mean, you got to remember, Double X is going to give it to you.
He's going to make you jump too.
Whoa, no, different. That's. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So you wake up in the morning and you lay back down, thought you could snooze till the bus came around?
Yeah.
No, till the alarm went. Yeah.
I messed that up. You know the actual lyrics. I just told the joke. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
I messed it up anyways.
It is. I don't want to be too overly critical, but I mean, it's just my feelings. I mean, I definitely, like, I didn't hate it.
You didn't hate it, but you didn't love it. It was almost like
love it.
It's like
I'm loving the other stuff. That's the thing. I'm loving. Well, I think I told you, like, I'm really liking New Gods is okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's misleading because they're like new gods and it's like Orion on Earth and then the gods floating around in space. I really like Mr. Miracle. It's really good. I really like Forever People so far. It's really good.
Yeah. It's like, this is like when you go to the ice cream shop and they give you the spoon to test stuff out. And the other books are the ones that Dan got scoops of. And this is the book that Dan just like took the spoon, ate it, and then put the spoon back in the don't want to try anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And not everything can be good, but yeah. And, I feel like we're world building. World building. Can I talk? Yeah.
World building. Yes.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But yeah, I can also see like why all of this didn't last, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm seeing the cracks in the other books too, and I can start to see like why. Like, I still after years of reading do not get the mother box at all.
It's like the mother box is like the all telling, all speaking thing. It's a neat idea, and if without the mother box, we would never have Alexa. Huh?
Sure, sure, it was the precursor for the Alexa technology. Yeah, so but
I
yeah, I
like
mean,
when I was a kid, I always thought mother box would be cool, and then as an adult, I'm like, why are you listening to me, and why did you just order a bunch of shit that I didn't want?
yeah. See, so you didn't really want it to begin with.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, we're talking about cashews. I didn't want a box of cashews. Why is it in my shopping cart? Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, to the point though, I'm seeing some of the cracks, but I'm enjoying it so far. Like, um, and then like I love Commandy, I love
Mm-hmm.
OMAC. I shouldn't say love
Yeah,
OMAC, but it's really kooky and great.
yeah. They keep your interest enough to make you keep going back to read more. Um, I don't know.
Commandy was the longest running one, right?
I believe so. I believe so. I have a customer at the shop that's always looking for more, and I'm like, but as long as I've known you for the last 6 years, I would have thought you collected them all. He's like, oh no, there's a lot out there, and I haven't collected them all. It's like, holy cow, dude.
I have 59 issues.
But it's I apparently they're not as easy to find as I thought they were. So, and then again, he's also a person that looks for, I got my one for reading and my one for keeping. So,
Well, and the other thing, I mean, the Commandy initial cover is just a complete ripoff of Planet of the Apes. So
yeah,
it's it's
what's not to
timely.
like?
But yeah, I mean, there we go. Not terrible, not my favorite, but my statement here is, if I just my humble opinion, if you're
Mhm.
gonna read this, go grab the omnibus
Yeah,
and read everything. Grab
just
the
don't
Jack
read it
Kirby
in bed.
Omnibus Volume 1 or Fourth World Omnibus Volume 1. I
Mhm.
think grab the Jack Kirby Omnibus would be hilarious. Like, that would be
Because well,
as big as my house.
well,
Yeah.
that's I was gonna say that's like multiple books, because that is multiple books.
But yeah, that's what I would do. I get the Fourth World Omnibus and read that and read everything. And I would say the Jimmy Olsen stuff is better when you're reading everything.
Mhm.
I think in a vacuum,
Yeah, but if you're gonna read it, like Dan's saying, and his suggestion is, to read, um, you know, to read it all, together, uh, so it like dovetails off each other. But at the same point, for somebody that's like, like, how much should I read at a time? Read what you want, but also parcel it out. It's a lot of stuff to read. There's a lot of
well, I'm like
book there.
450 pages into the
It's a
omnibus
lot.
now.
It's so much book. So much
So,
book.
but we should be reading. And I've been
Yeah,
reading a lot more because I have access to most of my books now, which is fantastic.
it's amazing.
Uh, and could pull out the She-Hulk book in honor of Peter David right
Yeah,
away.
you knew where it was. In the S's.
So, in the S's, or based on the book cover I just gave you, maybe it should be in the A's.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy, Dan. I can't hear you now.
Well,
Okay, now I can.
no, we're wrapping up the podcast.
The dogs are barking. The dogs are here.
It is amazing to podcast with big barks, but
Big barks.
I think that's just Juliet telling us we need to stop. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, we're done. And you know what? Pour one out for Peter David and go
Yeah.
read some of his books.
Do it. Read some
And
books.
pour one out for Jack Kirby while you're at it.
Yeah.
And
And read this.
Next week, we'll be reading something Peter David, probably X Factor or the Multiple Man miniseries.
All right. I look forward to it. So
Deuces.
see you later.